Hi, my name is Zalika Azim, and I'm a 2018 Workspace Resident at the Baxter Street Camera Club of New York. Around 2016, I began having conversations with friends and family members about living in New York. There were a lot of conversations about migration. From those conversations, I was really interested not so much in the sort of economic reasons why people were moving south, but like thinking about how relocating and migration impacts the way that people are able to kind of reconnect with the land. While I've been working on this project, been thinking a lot about overlaying, kind of like this totemic way of like overlaying work or images on top of other images, and how what narratives sort of come about through those moments being like sort of taking up the same space. Reminds me of, growing up and looking at my grandmother's dresser mirror and there being like images sort of like stuck in the frame, and how me looking at a reflection of myself also included other moments in time. In terms of the text, I mean, that sort of like works in the same way for me. I reference, like, in the text work specifically, thinking a lot about my grandmother's Bible, the way in which like the edges of the like pages are sort of like gilded in gold. It's leather bound and like embossed, and I kind of like started thinking, I was finding like sort of letters, like personal letters inside of it, and thinking a lot about how the landscapes that I interacted with when I was in South Carolina told stories. Like I felt it, like there was like this sort of like emotional like pull that made me kind of like think about what events might have possibly taken place in those same areas that I was photographing in. And that sort of like led me to writing and attempting to fill in like multiple gaps, or maybe not even fill in multiple gaps, but just offer new ways of like thinking through land and the stories that they possibly retain or tell. I'm interested in like using my family as a jumping off point for thinking about larger sort of like contexts around migration and experience and storytelling. For me, it's very much about like my personal, family and experience, but I think I absolutely want it to be work that others can look at and take away from, in terms of thinking about how time and memory and stories are told.